You got a minute? Wow. Hello, Feral friends. I'm your host, Savana Montana. Welcome back to Feral Fridays. It's the episode you've all been waiting for. I've got Willie Numbers back in the den. He just ran 100 miles this weekend. Yes, he finished in 28 something hours. We're going to get all into that now, but this man is a champion. This man ran 100 miles, and he's going to tell us all about his experience over the weekend and everything that he endured during this process. So, how are you feeling?
It was 26 hours and 47 minutes.
26 hours and 47 minutes.
Yes, and it was 101 miles, 0.72, including all the stops.
Yeah, because every time that we would stop, he would have to run to wherever our vehicle was so that we could...
I don't know if the camera's going to get that, but...
pit stop him.
Let's see.
Yep, 101.74 miles.
That's right.
That's insane.
Yeah, it was epic. It was so much pain.
So much pain.
Oh. Whoo, a lot of pain.
How are you feeling right now? Physically, mentally, emotionally, where's your head at? We're, 2 days out from the race? We got home Sunday afternoon.
It's Tuesday now.
Mm-hmm. You guys will be hearing this on a Friday, for context.
Yeah, so about 48 hours, a little more than 48 hours after I finished. Mm-hmm. I finished at like 9:30 a.m. Mm-hmm. Mentally, I feel like still high, riding on a cloud. Physically, I feel a lot better today than I did yesterday, and certainly a lot better than I did Sunday. That was really bad. But it's crazy how fast the body can start to recover. My feet right now are, as you know, they're balloons. My ankles are like balloons too. I
know. I feel bad. They're worse than they were the last couple of days. Like I walk into the office and his legs are up on the desk, and he looks like he has Santa Claus cankles. Basically, his poor little feet.
Can't even see my ankles.
No, you can't even see them. They're completely. They're worse than they have been in the last 4 days, for sure.
Yeah, I'm
That's
barefoot.
Crazy.
Yeah, so physically, been a lot of recovery, a lot of cold plunging, a lot of sauna. Thank God for that. That's made it so much faster. Very hungry all the time, obviously. Mm-hmm. And, but I feel, it feels really good. So I've kept the medal on. I'm probably going to keep this on for a week or so just because I'm so proud of it. But it's certainly really, really cool. Yeah. Feels great.
Yeah, good. You should be proud of yourself. I'm proud of you. I know all of us, everybody following and watching and being a part of the journey from afar are proud of you.
Thank you.
It's really, really incredible what you did.
Thank you.
And to be up close, front row and center of the journey was next level.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's thinking back at it, I think I trained for like 7.5 months or so, give or take. It's like affirmation. For sure. Sometimes, even I can forget that if you really put yourself to a goal, whatever it may be, if you really commit yourself, it's incredible what you could do. Because 7.5 months, in my opinion, and a lot of other guys that are friends of mine that are actual runners, that they like Brady and stuff like that, that's not a lot of time,
No.
to train for maybe a marathon, right? But for a 100-miler, it's not a lot of time,
No.
I probably should have had like a year and a half or something. There's a lot of people that train for years. So I think it's just, it's a good reminder. Like, hey, if you're not accomplishing something, it's just because you just don't have it as a priority probably. And you're just, there's a lot of time that you can waste, procrastinating and stuff like that. But that's why I picked the race to be in 2025 as well. Mm-hmm. I know as humans, we procrastinate till the last minute. If we have a timeline, we'll fill in that whole timeline. So if you make it shorter, you'll hit it. So it's pretty cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you're extremely hungry right now. What are you craving? Anything specific or just like everything?
Just anything. Yeah, anything. I mean, I don't want to eat honey for a long time.
Yeah, I was like, what is the thing that we had that you had to eat throughout the process that you're like, if I don't see a banana or a jar of honey,
no, banana's fine. I had a banana this morning. It's
Did
okay.
you?
It didn't taste like bananas used to taste, I'll tell you. It's just kind of like, I don't know. It was almost like a reminder of like, I really don't want to eat this banana right now because it brings me back to being in the race. Yeah, honey for sure. I don't want anything to do with honey for a while.
Over it?
I ate so much freaking honey and so much goo, the little gel packs, and yeah, just all that kind of stuff, you know, like electrolytes and
all those packets of just salt and
I don't want
no.
I don't want any of that stuff. I want like real food. I don't want a chicken tender for a long time. Because
that was the only like actual food that you had was a box of chicken tenders from Publix, and you didn't even eat that many of them.
I ate one,
but that's literally the only piece of meat that you had. Everything else was packets and gel packs and liquids,
gummies, and
the candy,
Cliff gummies and stuff like that. I mean, thinking every day that's been going by, I kind of get to remember some things and like some thoughts and memories come up, and it's just like all processing, obviously, probably for the next couple weeks or so. So it's been funny to think back. We can get into that. I mean, from me pooping myself to
oh my gosh, yes, tell
stuff.
that story. I totally forgot about the poop story.
Yes,
such a good story.
Still have the shoes.
We do.
We do.
Poop
right?
and all.
Yeah, poop and all.
They're in a bag.
Yeah. So I think I was on mile 83 or something like that, and this is probably 2 a.m. or something on A1A.
Yeah, this is in the middle of the night.
Yeah, this is in the middle of the night. It was cold. Anyway, this is a funny story. So I was on the phone with Gio. Shout out to Gio. You're a champion for staying on the phone with me. And shout out to Tal, too, for staying on the phone with me. Appreciate it, even into the late hours. So I was on the phone with Gio, and I was like, dude, I really got to take a shit. And I had been holding it for 10 miles. And, like, it comes and goes because your body will process it eventually. But at this point, I was on A1A for what seemed like an eternity. And there was nobody in front of me and nobody behind me. Like, as far as the eye can see. And I could see, like, 4 or 5 miles very far. Nobody. So I haven't seen a soul. No contact. I'm just like, man, Gio, I really gotta go. And he's like, well, where are you? I'm like, dude, I'm on A1A. Like, it's the same fucking space I've been forever. And, the waves are crashing. It's literally right there. There's no, like, beaches. It's just, like, you can walk right over. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to go over to the beach. I'm just going to poop on the beach. But then it dawned on me, I didn't have any wipes. I didn't have any toilet paper or anything like that. So the only thing that was, like, on the entry to the beach was doggy bags. So and again, keep in mind, guys, at this point, I've been awake for like 24 hours, so brain is not firing normal thoughts, okay? So I'm like, maybe if I grab a doggy bag, I could just wipe it. But then, thankfully, I thought to myself, like, nah, that's going to smear, and that's going to make a bigger problem, because then I got to run with poop in between my legs, which is just, let's just not do that, So anyway, and I keep talking to Gio, and he's like, yeah, man, I mean, you just gotta hold it out. So I did for like another 1.5 miles or something. And this is going to sound funny, but I mean it. This is when I'm a big believer in God. Like, God is real. And I'll tell you a crazy story, and then we'll lead into the poop story. So I don't know, like 1/2 mile later from me, I'm still on the phone with Gio, and I'm like, Gio, there's a freaking porta potty. Like, I can see it. Like, I don't know, 500 feet in front of me. I'm like, dude, there's a fucking porta potty. Because it was a new construction house. I'm like, oh my God. If this thing's not open, I'm going to knock it over. Like, I don't care. And you can't make this up. I took a picture of it, and I have it. Just because I knew nobody would believe me.
Oh my gosh, we'll tag it in the episode.
The porta potty was on the right side of A1A, and it was at a new construction house right off the sidewalk where I was running. And behind that was a neighborhood. And there was a church, like on the corner, like a little church, with a white cross on the roof, lit up, like white light. You can't make that shit up. No pun intended. And I was like, Gio, God just dropped a fucking porta potty for me. Just in the middle of this godforsaken race. And he's like, you see, bro? God is good. It's happening. I'm like, bro, this is a great sign. Like, he gave me a fucking porta potty. Like, how dope. Jesus gave me a porta potty out here. And I was like, I gotta let you go. And I get in the porta potty, and there was toilet paper. And I was like, oh.
2 for 2.
Keep in mind, like, the things that you appreciate at this level of just pain and anguish. I was so excited to be sitting in a porta potty that definitely smelled like shit, But to me, it smelled like nothing. I was so grateful to be in a porta potty outside of the cold because now I'm inside the porta potty. So it's warm. It was like 51 degrees, by the way. And I got toilet paper. And I'm like, oh. So I go to the bathroom. I feel a lot better. And then I get to running again. And that probably lasted for 2 miles. And I'm like, oh my God, I got to go again. And at this point now, it was like stomach problems. I'm dry heaving. So I'm like, man, my body's really breaking down. Like I can't drink anything anymore. I took a sip of the electrolytes. I threw it up. And I don't really have anything in the tank. At this point, I think I'm like at 85 or 86 miles or something. And now there's no porta potty. There's no more porta potty. I don't get a second miracle like that. So there's like a little hill that drops off of A1A. And there's mangroves and like a little forest. So I'm like, dude, it is what it is. Like, this is happening. So I climbed down the hill, which I almost fell down because I had no control of my legs. And I just start grabbing leaves, like big round leaves from trees. And it's wet and cold. Stupid. So I try to dry the leaves on my pants, but my pants are soaked and I'm sweaty. So I'm like, all right. I go to poop, and when I squat to poop, I basically fell over. Because I had no muscle strength anymore, so I didn't think that. And I'm on a hill incline. So I'm like, here we go. We're gonna roll down this hill filled with shit, and like this is the glory that I'm in this moment. And whatever, I was able to hang on to a tree, so I poop. I used the leaves. That didn't work. I had 2 hats. Thankfully, I had the reverse flip hat that I was gonna wear through the finish line, and I had this white one, which was like a cloth white one. I took off the white hat and I wiped my butt with the hat, and it worked like a charm. And I left the hat there, so I'm sorry for whoever had to pick that up. And then I just took off. And then I met you guys up at mile 90 or something. And I forgot who it was, but somebody's like, yeah, I think you stepped in shit. And I was like, oh no, I shit myself. I was like, that was me. And then I didn't realize it until that moment. I think. Yeah, he's like, dude, I think you stepped in shit. And I was like, oh no, dude, I shit myself. I was like, that was me.
You were like, oh yeah, she didn't tell you? Because you had told me on the phone already that you're like, that hat, that mesh hat that we had? Yeah, well, I shit in it. So
I was like, it's gone. and apparently I had shit on and the bottom part of those shoes were white. And it was just all filled with shit. And yeah, so I just ran the rest of the race with shitty shoes. Literally.
Pun intended.
Pun intended, because I couldn't take them off because they were holding everything together in there. So yeah, I finished my race with shit on my own shit on my shoes. So that sums up 100-miler for you.
That sums up 100-miler.
You gotta be a man, dude. You gotta be a man about it. And there was a couple who was walking by me
as you were shitting.
As I was shitting, and I had the blinker, I looked like a Christmas tree. I had a red and green blinking light.
Flares. It's
it
like
looks
Christmas.
Like a little coal miner light. So I turned it off so they wouldn't look down, because I was like, I'd be so embarrassed if they looked down and I'm taking it. So thankfully they were tired too. So they were just walking by like zombies, and I ended up catching them. I don't know, way down the line or something. But I thought that was hilarious, man. I was hiding in a grown ass man hiding in a little patch of forest. Shit his pants.
Yeah.
And shoes.
Yeah. It was a real thing. The zombie thing. Mm-hmm. People are really towards the end of that race. There's no life left in these humans. I think they're sleepwalking at that point.
I definitely sleep ran. I don't know how many miles. I sleepwalked for sure. I don't know how many miles. By the time I called you to get Mike and Cody out there to pace me, which again, I thought I was going to be fine without a pacer, but I understand why people use pacers now. Because I was walking. That's the only moment that I actually got concerned. It was because I was walking. I was so loose or just so out of it that I was walking into the road and off the road. And
yeah, because when we came back to find you, you were on the wrong side of the road.
Yeah, I was completely on the wrong.
You can't be right. That can't be. It can't be. And like all the runners are on this side of the road, and he was on the wrong side of the road. And he's like, never mind, I'm not supposed to be on this side of the road. I'm supposed to be on that side of the road. I'm like, thank God we came to find you.
Yeah, and I told you, I was like, you need to get somebody out here, because I was actually nervous because your thoughts are just so. You're so tired. You're in so much pain. You're so weak. So you're very vulnerable. Mm-hmm. And I think I just realized that. I was like, dude, if I sit for a second, I'm probably gonna pass out, and they're gonna find me 6 hours from now, and the race is over. And what a sad moment that would be, that Will was passed out on the side of the road. Like that's how he DNF'd. So I needed somebody there, and I told you, I was like, I need somebody to stay with me. They don't need to run. They just need to just be next to me.
Yeah, he was like, I'm not even running at this point. I'm literally like, I just need somebody here because I'm not.
Oh, I was in full survival mode at that point. That was like mile 85, 86. I was, there was no more, like, the thought went from, oh, you know, as I was doing really good on pace, the thought went from like, oh, we're going to crush this race and we're going to crush the time, which we still ended up doing really good on time. That thought was replaced with, I just need to finish and I need to just clench on for dear life. And I just must keep one foot in front of the other at this point. And somebody's got to talk to me about anything. And I will just, and I'll just stay awake because by myself, there was no runners around at this point. The gaps between the runners was miles and miles and miles. And I was probably walking at like an 18-minute pace. So I still would have made it. But, you know, Mike came out and, you know, Mike kind of pissed me off because he was talking shit, but that was good because he did it.
He was doing it on
for
purpose.
A reason.
Yeah.
And then, you know, he kind of got me to jog and he's like, look, let's jog to the green light. And I was like, all right. And he'd be like, all right, let's get to the church. All right. So like landmark running. And then all of a sudden I don't know what he said, but I think he said something about a girl in front of us. Like, oh, she's smoking.
Another runner.
You. And I was like, fuck you, Mike. And I just got pissed off. And I just started sprinting, like at a 10-minute mile now, which was very fast. And I just ran through the pain. And I looked at him. I was like, keep up, motherfucker. And I got really mad. He's like, oh, shit. And obviously, it was easy for him. He looked like a little stride. I was busting out everything I had. So we ran like that for 3 miles. And that was great. And then Cody switched with him. And, you know, that was great. I had great conversations with Cody. And Cody was just keeping me. He was telling me stories about Iraq and Afghanistan and boot camp and freaking MARSOC, you know, NDOC and this and that. And I'm just laughing. I'm asking questions. You know, he told me a story about himself shitting himself. And that was funny to me at that time. You know, I was like, all right, well, that's pretty, it's 2 of us now, you know? So, you know, that just kept me going, you know what I'm saying? But it took me 3.5 hours to get out of the 80s.
Yeah, it was wild. Mm-hmm. It was, I think that was hard for me, was that period of time, because that's where most of the concern came from. And the fact that we could have met you. I mean, we did end up meeting you at the last aid station, but the plan was for you to run the rest from the last time that we had seen you, which was like 30 miles. And I was like, this is a bad idea.
It was 27, yeah.
This is a bad idea. This is not a good idea. But like all of you guys were there for it. And so I was like,
well, you know me, you know, I mean, I'm going to go for it. So, you know, I had Cody, you know, retired special ops guy, good friend. You have Mike, you know, went to Buds. And you have Ed as well. And then there's you and then there's me. And, you know, for context for everybody, when I got to 52 miles, I was cruising. I just crushed St. Augustine all the way down. And that was probably the best part of my run, my race, because there was a lot of us bunched up in St. Augustine.
Yes.
And because there was a lot of traffic and people. This is during the day.
There was people everywhere.
Yeah, like
there must have been some like Christmas stroll going on.
No, it's just St. Augustine. Like they were going to the fort and they were doing like the sightseeing tours and people were on ghost tours and I could hear them on the little buses with the microphones and they're just looking at you like, what the fuck is this guy? The highlighter yellow, you know, vest, and there's like a bunch of us running through and some of us look like shit, some of us look good. We're all running like in unison in the same direction. We look like idiots just running through. And everybody's like having mimosas and having a great time. We're like, it's fucking stupid. Yeah. So when we got bunched up, I came alive. Like I didn't like the feeling. And I'm like, bro, I started seeing so many people. And I was like, all right, I got super competitive. And I think I counted it. I smoked like 15 guys and girls. Just one by one. Yeah,
and the last thing that you want at that point is to be around people, bumping into people on the sidewalk, running around, seeing other racers. Like, you guys were, that's the most congested the entire race was in St. Augustine for sure.
And I started, and then there was this black dude who was behind me, and I looked back, and we were going over the Bridge of Lions in St. Augustine, and it's a one-way thing, like a crosswalk. And we kind of got to it. It was one of those moments of like, we both looked at each other, was like, are you going or am I going? I was like, I'm fucking going. So I went and he was right behind me. And when we came down the other side, I can see in the guy, I look back and I could see that the dude was like, he was getting some energy. What?
Nothing.
Oh. He was getting like some energy from me, if that makes sense. And I could see in his eye that he was like, oh, I'm going to take this guy, you know? And he was getting closer and closer. And that really pissed me off. So I let him get close, and then I just went off. And I started running like an 8.5 minute mile. And it pissed me off so bad that by the time I looked down, I had ran 7 miles. And I had passed everyone that was in front of me beyond. And then I got to you guys at 52. That guy, I ended up seeing him down the road, way down the race with his shoes off. I don't even know if he finished, to be honest, because he just looked like he was complete disaster.
Yeah.
So I got to 52, and Mike's like, look, which I credit Mike with this because it was the right call at the time. He said, look, you could go to 52 and we can meet you at 65, or you could be a fucking winner and you could go from 52 to 73. And you could do the 21. And I was like, well, I've done 20-mile runs, and I was feeling really good at this time. And I did. And I didn't see you guys. I was like, I'll see you guys in 4 hours. Because that's basically, and I think I saw you like in 4 hours and 15 minutes or something. So I ran a beautiful 21 miles, almost a marathon again.
Yep.
And at that point, I knew 73, my mind, I'm like, all right, that's a checkpoint. That's basically the last marathon, because 27 miles to 100, marathon's 26.2. So I was like, all right, that'll be my last hoorah, you know? So when we got to 73, I came in, I was hot. I was like, dude, I was screaming and I was yelling, and Cody's like, dude, this guy's still like
he was
rolling.
insane. We were all excited. Like, we were all yelling and screaming by the time that Will had showed up to 73.
Yeah.
And that was his, like, you were euphoric. You were in like,
I was.
you were in a different world. He was super positive, and he was enlightened. Like, whatever was happening between mile 52 and 73 was a whole different world for you. I think those are both during that 4 hour period is when you spoke with Tal on the phone and with Gio on the phone. Or was Gio after 73?
No, Gio was in the upper 70s, 80s.
Tal was
and Tal was as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they both were.
Because you were in everything that you were like texting
I
me
did speak
and
to
in
Tal,
the group
though, in
chat.
the 60s.
You spoke to Tal several times throughout the day.
Yeah, and he was just listening. He's like, how many people? I'm like, bro, I just smoked 7, dude. I'm about to smoke an 8th right now. I was like, fuck these guys. And I was just like in the zone, dude. And Tal was like, yeah, fuck those guys. And I was like, yeah, fuck those guys, bro. I was like, I don't care if they're nice or not. Fuck them.
Yeah.
Because Cody kept telling me, you know, like the last checkpoint that I saw Cody, he went like full Marine Corps at that moment. And he looked at me, he's like, dude, this is fucking war. It's time to take the fight to them. Like, we're going to go door by door and we're going to drop kick them. And I was like, yeah, that's what we're going to do. He's like, yeah, it's time to fucking start killing people out there. And I was like, oh, you got me going. He's like, look at me. I'm serious. Kill him. And I was like, oh, okay. You don't have to tell me twice. So he got me like all fucking riled up, and I took off. So anyway, then at 73, naturally following momentum, Mike was like, hey, 73 to 100 is a marathon. Let's do it again. You know, the basically what I just ran. And again, I was feeling really good at that time. And I was like, yeah, fill me up. I'll see you guys at the finish line. You know, in my stupor in that moment. I was like, that was
he hadn't hit his wall yet.
Overzealous of me to do. But hey, you missed 100% of the shots.
And I was the only one that, and I didn't even say
Ed
anything
too.
because
Ed didn't want it to happen.
Ed didn't want it either.
Yeah.
But he went along with, and so did I, because I was like, I'm going to be the only one, and then Will's going to get upset with me because I'm being soft. I'm being, you know, like, but we can just meet you 8 miles before 100. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We can, like, you can put your reverse flip t-shirt on, get your hat, whatever you need. Like, let's just see you before you hit 100 kind of thing. And no, which I'm glad I kept my mouth shut because I would have been ruled out anyways. But
in that moment though, like that's what I needed, you know, like I really needed
that you can do the whole thing.
Yeah. Like I really needed that. And, you know, even Cody at that moment, I could tell because he's been to such places, obviously being special operator and all that kind of stuff. And I respect the shit out of him. In that moment, he probably knew like, damn, this is not a good idea. But at the same token, he was like, send it. You know, he was
I
like,
think we all knew it wasn't a good idea. I don't think
yeah.
that. Yeah, I think it was definitely the head game was behind the.
Yeah.
That was the method to the madness at this point.
But
in the
I
race.
needed that.
Yeah,
and I was
you
just
did.
and at that point too. Keep in mind for like everyone who's listening right now, I was much closer to the finish line than I had ever been before. And at that point, in the rationale that I used was we had gained so much time from me running from 52 to 73 that I had the luxury per se of like that buffer. Where in my rationale was like, look, dude, you get from 73 to 80. And then once you hit 80, and I told Gio on the phone, he can vouch for this. I told him on the phone, I was like, once I hit 85, like anything can break. I don't care, but I'm not stopping. And that's going to be a train the whole way home. And if I have a fucking torn Achilles or a broken foot or whatever, that's tomorrow's problem. But 85 was the number in my head. And sadly, I only got to like 82. And then, well, bam, it was like a giant. God was like, haha, here you go. You think you're a badass. Here you go. Yeah. And dude, I got humbled super hard.
That's what you came to look for was in that moment.
Was, yeah.
Because I didn't hear from you for a while and I hadn't slept at that point. And your text message started to get really scary.
Yeah.
Your body was breaking down mentally. You were like, that's when I knew when his messages were coming in, like this is the quitting moment. This is where he's going to come in and be like, keep pushing. Like this is where he needs the crew the most because he's hitting his wall right now. Based on your text messages.
No, zero doubt.
You were full like panic, pissed off, you were just not in a good place. But then when we saw you, you seemed fucking fine. It was like the second the crew showed up, we were all so worried, but actually not even when we showed up, but just getting you on the phone because I was like, Mike, you need to call him. Mike, you need to call him. Mike, you need to call him. He needs a pacer. We got to get out there. We got to go. I had to wake Mike up because his car was parked next to me. And so we switch everything in the cars so that we can load everybody into one. So I get you on the phone and you sounded fine on the phone. And then you wanted to keep talking to us. So we were on the phone with you for like 15 minutes because at this point we're like 30 minutes away from you in the car.
Let me tell you, one of the most demoralizing feelings that I had during that race was on that call where I was like, what's your ETA? Because at this point I was dying in my mind. And physically I was pretty damn close. I was like, what's your ETA? And I hear Cody in the background. He goes, 24 minutes. Dude. When he said that, I was like, what? Did he say 24 or 2 to 4? And he's like, no, it's 24. You'll be all right. And I'm like, oh my God. Dude, that was so demoralizing to me because I was on A1A, dude, solo. Nobody. And
you could tell you wanted to like cry in that moment. You did it. You probably did.
I did like internally, but you know, again,
you were so far away from us.
You meet yourself in these moments, like your real self. And again, we're all human, right? You think you're a baby badass until you're in that moment. You know what I'm saying? And that was definitely a trying moment. And I just remember like a thought running through my head, and I just said to myself, I was like, "Don't be a bitch. You're not a pussy. It's 24 fucking minutes. You hung up. It's 22 now. Just keep walking." And everything in me wanted to say, like, let me just stop and wait for them at this McDonald's that I told you.
Yeah, because you were going to stop. And I was like, you can't stop. You're going to burn almost
and I told you, I was
hour.
like, I can't stop.
No, because Mike was like, yeah, we'll meet you there.
No,
and then when we were
no.
like, we're 24 minutes away, keep walking towards us, and we're going to keep driving towards you. You're going to make it so much closer. Further. Yeah.
And I knew, I was like, dude, if I stop, it's game over.
If you stopped,
I'm not going to get up.
You would have fallen asleep on the sidewalk, and the chances of us waking you up would have been slimmer.
Right. So you get control of yourself and your emotions, and it's crazy because but it was a really nice feeling in a sense, and I know it's going to sound weird to some people, but it was a very calm moment in the midst of all that chaos where you come to the realization of when no one's coming right now, no one can help you right now. You're here. Yeah, they're on the way, but that doesn't solve the now problem. So you can bitch and moan about it, or you can just keep fucking walking and it'll be over before you know it. And, so I just started chanting out loud for whatever reason. And I chanted this for like a mile. It was, you're a champion. You're a champion. you're a fucking champion. You're a champion. And I kept saying that for like a mile straight. And I think it was like a form of hypnosis. And that's what I reverted back to because it was the only fucking thing that came to my mind. And I was like, you're a fucking champion. You're a fucking champion. You're a winner. Nobody's out here. It's just you. You're a fucking winner. And I just kept saying that shit just to keep myself going. And yeah, that was, and then I saw you guys. And then, you know, Mike hopped out of the car. He took my vest off for a while, which as soon as he took the vest off, he's like, holy shit. This thing is fucking heavy. I was like, bro, this feels so good. I was like, because it was like 8 pounds less. You know?
Yeah, because you did 2 marathons without running your vest on race day because you switched into the belt. Yeah. And you didn't, well, and also you're hitting water stations, so you're just crushing water at the stations instead of carrying it on you because you liked running without your vest more.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot more freeing,
with it.
That's for sure. It's a lot lighter.
It's a lot of water on your back.
I'm 215 running the race, so with the vest, I was like 223. It's just, it doesn't sound like much, but as a lifetime, you know, for 100,000 steps, that's a lot of more weight, you know? Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, again.
Yeah. Well, let's go back to the morning of, at the beginning of the race. Mm-hmm. First of all, we had gotten a sprinter van.
Yes.
And we weren't even allowed to touch or use our sprinter van because some race marshal came up to us at
Ranger Rick.
5 o'clock in the morning and snapped at us for having...
This is way too big. You guys didn't read the rules? I was like, I read the rules. And it said a sprinter van.
It says like, cargo vehicles.
238 inches. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
Yeah, I was like,
yeah,
huh?
Yeah. Let me just whip out the fucking measure. Hey, Cody, you got the measuring tape that we brought to measure the van? Like, you out of your mind,
Literally
dude?
the only available sprinter van in Jacksonville Beach, period, too.
So funny story about that.
He goes, this looks like it's supposed to be 8 feet, but this definitely looks like it's 10 feet.
Yeah, funny story about that guy. Again, you take motivation where you can take it. So this is right before the race. Like the race starts at 5:30. It's probably 4:45, 4:50 or something like that.
Yeah, literally.
And I could see people starting to line up at the starting line and stuff like that. So again, my focus needs to be on I'm starting this race. You know, like I don't want to be distracted with a fucking van or whatever. And I just looked at this guy and I saved him in my brain for later. I was like, oh okay. This is a freebie for me. I'm going to fuck this guy up in my mind. Like, I'm going to use this guy for motivation. And then, you know, you guys and Cody were like, don't worry about it, bro. Just go over there. Like, we'll take care of this shit.
Yeah, I literally physically removed you from this man because I was like, as this man keeps talking, Will's going to lose his shit. And I need to be, like, he needs to be on his A game right now. So I had to literally walk him over to the finish line because I was like, he's going to lose his shit if he keeps hearing this guy talk to us like this.
Yeah. So the race starts.
And he was so rude.
The race starts. We had to go north to go south, which was confusing. But anyway, so we went north for 5 miles and then hooked it back. So the turnaround point was like a 5-point-something miler. I'm running, and there's like all these people, you know, from the race at different corners, like, hey, you're doing great, whatever. And they're like, hey, keep, you know, go left, whatever. And this guy was at one of these checkpoints, and I recognized him. And he's like, hey, man, don't worry about anything. We got everything figured out with your team. Just run your race. And I was like, all right, thanks. And I just kept running. Come to find out, the freaking sprinter van never made it to the race.
He didn't figure shit out. I was like, all right. No, he was just a dick. Sorry if you're listening to this.
It was a dick.
Super douche at 5 o'clock in the morning.
He was like the president of an HOA. He was just an asshole.
He was shorter than me. I think his cowboy hat was shorter than me. Just standing or whatever. It was a whole thing. But no, he didn't figure anything out. He just barked at us like a dog and then walked away. And I was like, okay, guys, we got to figure this out because Will's not going to get eliminated because the crew vehicle isn't the right size, whatever. So I called the guy. I'm like, hey, you can come pick up the sprinter van. We're going to haul all this shit into the Range Rover and Mike's going to bring his Tesla and hopefully to God we can charge it along the way. And we're just going to, we're on the 7-minute plan. Okay.
Well, funny enough,
that's what we did.
Tying all that story back in. So fast forward 25 hours to the end of the race. Mm-hmm. And I walked through the finish line. Who do you think is there? He's there, that guy. And he's like, hey, see, you made it. Congratulations. And the first words out of my mouth were, yeah, we didn't even need the sprinter van for it, huh? And he was like, no, you didn't. I was like, fuck you, dude.
He thinks we're like being nice.
Yeah,
we're being so passive aggressive.
Kiss my ass, dude.
I turned around because I see him and he's in a different cowboy hat. And this cowboy hat is bright red with like Christmas danglies on it. And I turn around and I look at Cody because all day Cody was piped up for the first 50 miles for sure. We talked about this guy a couple different times. He's like, yo, this man is living in my mind rent free right now, and I can't get it out of my head. So we're leaving the 100-mile race. Sure as shit, this guy's walking up in perfect timing as we're passing to walk to our vehicle. And I turn around and look at Cody and I go, hey, Cody, look who it is. It's your best friend. And he's like,
yeah, you could have killed him.
Cody, thank God, didn't say anything, and only Will opened his mouth because.
No, and I opened my mouth because I had the medal around my neck. I was like, yeah, we didn't even need the sprinter man, huh? And Ed looked at me. He's like, you got that guy. You got that. I was like, I got that guy. He says some slick shit. With the little bit of energy I have, I'm going to throw this thing at him in a second.
Yeah.
But again, you got to take it where you can get it, you know?
Mm-hmm. So at the beginning of the race, where were you emotionally standing at the starting line? What were you thinking about? Where was your head at? Were you excited? Were you emotional? Were you calm? What were you?
I was pretty calm, I would say. It was exciting to the degree of like, all right, this is actually the moment, you know, I had thought about it for so long, like, oh, the starting line, oh, go, you know, and like all this stuff. I was cold, obviously. I think it was like 49 degrees in the morning.
It was chilly. It was chilly all day. It never.
Yeah.
It was a low of 47 and a high of 71. I think the entire time, the whole race throughout, didn't get over 53 degrees outside.
Yeah. So, you know, I didn't even stretch. Thinking back at it now, I didn't even stretch before the run.
You didn't
at all. Yeah, I mean, I was excited. You know, you're like looking around now, and it's real, and you know, now you're seeing the quote unquote competition. You're seeing different people. You know, everybody's got like different gear setups, and I'm looking at the clock, and I'm looking at my watch, and I'm like, oh my god. And then you know, when they said go, there's like that adrenaline of like, all right, now we're going. But it's very short lived in the sense that the second we got out, because you're on such an adrenaline high, because there's so many people, yeah, you know, everybody's like excited. You're like, oh yeah, like you accomplished nothing, by the way. You're just starting.
Yep.
But you feel like, and then it's like the light went off, and we started getting into these neighborhoods, which were super dark because it's 5:30 in the morning, very cold, and you know everybody's like passing each other or slowing down, whatever. Everybody's like kind of like going into their pace, and then the reality hit of like shit. I got like 26 hours to go, 28, whatever it's going to be. So that sucked. And you know, it was a real mindfuck because I really started noticing, and a couple of us talked about it, like, why are we going north? You know, because Daytona was south.
Yeah, because it must be because you hit the lighthouse, and there's nothing further past that on
Correct.
Daytona Beach, so they have to make you go. But why wouldn't you see? Runners are goofy people. Let me just talk shit for a moment. Why wouldn't you just start further up on Jacksonville Beach instead of making you guys run north to turn around? They could have just started.
They're certainly not
10
business
miles
people.
north.
I can tell you that. Right
No, Orozco Mango, as far as the behind the scenes of that. Went, which is why certain size vans were banned because of something that happened in the Keys.
Yeah, somebody hit a overpass or something, but I could just tell you that it was
Lord,
a little
help us
demeaning to run 5 miles further away from where you wanted to be, and you were like, it was already the race, and I'm like, dude, I'm 5 miles north further of when I started, and then you passed the starting line again. So when we passed the starting line, I was like, wow, now we can start like officially going south. So that kind of sucked.
Takes the wind out of your sails.
Yeah, but again, you know, you get your rhythm and stuff like that. And I don't think the sun rise till like 7. So we were running out there. Everyone's whoo, whoo, whoo. So now you're starting to heat up. You're 5 miles into it. So I felt good. And I'm like, oh man, this is nice because the weather was beautiful. It was chilly. And you know, that lasted for a little bit. But then once we got into like the 15, 20 mile, now you're sweaty and it's still cold, and now it's like, oh damn, I'm freaking cold.
Yeah.
And you know, I realized too, again, you don't know what you don't know. A lot of people around me had gloves, and that was brilliant, by the way. Great job. It makes total sense now. But I didn't. So there was nowhere, I couldn't run with my hand in my pockets. So I was just like, man, I just kept doing this the entire time. Because it was really freaking cold, and my face was really freaking cold, and the hat was just, you know, now it's sweaty, so it's cold. Yeah, I think I stepped on a puddle at some point, and I didn't see it, so my foot was soaked, so I was cold there. It sucked. Like at that, like that for me, at like the 20 mile mark, the race had started. Like the sucking had started.
Oh, yeah. It was so early on. I
Yeah.
think our first mistake was not having you run a full marathon before seeing us for the first time. We saw you way more than we should have in the first 26 miles, in my opinion. And I wish that we would have just been like, meet us at the first marathon. Because for context, why I'm saying that is I did the 52.4 miles with you, and I didn't see Will for over 21 miles on that day.
Wow.
And he looked like he just left the house when I saw him at 21 miles.
It's your best running, you know?
Yeah.
Because you have the most amount of energy.
We shouldn't have seen you before the first marathon. And I think you would have eaten a lot of your time, but also mentally it would have been better for you, and time-wise it would have been better for you if we hadn't, but that's not the way that it worked out. So it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Hindsight's 2020.
The first mistake was and this is just straight miscommunication, but learning how to work as a unit. I had no food in my pack.
Oh, yeah.
So that was the first mistake, which is why I had to meet you guys, because I had nothing. And again, I think I was 15 or 18 miles in when I met you guys for the first time. And I'm like, dude, I got I'm fasting now and I'm 15 miles into this. Like, that's not fun. Like,
But they did have food at the stations. I guess it's just not food that you wanted, because they had those potatoes and
I didn't see any of that shit. To be honest, I blew past the first station because it was miscommunication.
We weren't there.
We didn't know, and I'm like, "Where are you guys?" "Oh no, we're at breakfast. We're gonna meet you at the next one." And I was like, "All right, when's the next station?" 7 miles. I was like, "Fuck!" I was pissed because I ran 7 miles, super hungry, and I was pissed. Then when I got to the first checkpoint, then the food and whatever, and then we got that kink out of the way. But yeah, so I ran like the first, I don't know, 18 miles or whatever, just fasted.
Yeah,
which wasn't
another
fun.
Mistake that I think we made is, it seems like a great idea to get your feet taped and glued and all the shit by a professional doctor and whatever. But Will had been running without tape on his feet the entire 7.5 months of training.
Yeah.
So to give him tape at the beginning, as where his feet were used to not having tape on them at all, was counterproductive, because your feet started giving you problems within the first 7 miles of the race. And we were not planning for that at all.
The first blister was my left pinky. I could feel it, and I felt it for like 10 miles, and it got worse and worse and worse. And I thought it was like, all right, it's just uncomfortable, whatever. It was maybe the tape moving around. But when I took my shoes off for the first time, which was in the 20s, like the high 20s, that was already a full-blown blister. Like, nail would not look good. That really sucked. And then I ran through the 30s, and I called you, and that was my first little overcoming that shit, because
he was not happy. He was pissed off.
Yeah, I was pissed because I'm 30 something
irritated.
miles, and I'm like, dude, how do I have blisters already with these special little creeper socks, which again were fantastic, but it would have been a lot worse without them. But yeah, because all you think about is, damn, I still have 67 more miles to do, and I already have blisters. And I remember in the 52 miler, that's what really killed me towards the end. So I just was not happy to think about, wow, I'm gonna have to run this thing with, because once blisters start, there's zero chance of like fixing them.
Reverse,
there's zero chance, and then
you're just gonna get more.
And what happens exactly? You're gonna get more, and now you're gonna start running to compensate for that. So then other things are going to start happening.
Like your ankle.
Your ankles and your knees and your thighs and your quads and all this shit.
Your Achilles. Like for you have a massive bruise on the back of your calf.
Yeah.
And what is it, your right foot? Both of his feet and ankles are extremely swollen right now. But his Achilles and the back of his leg, he has so much internal bruising because you were favoring the opposite foot that had more blisters on it.
But I will say that the single greatest thing, if I could recommend to anybody doing anything like this, Moleskin is, if I could do a commercial for them, I would. It is the greatest invention that man has ever known for feet care, because it's like a very serious athletic tape.
It feels like moleskin. Like if you could imagine what a mole, like the varmint, what its skin feels like. Yeah. That's literally what mole tape feels like.
It's very rough.
It's like a second skin.
Yeah,
but it saved his feet. I mean, we wrapped his toes, and I don't know if for those of you
super tight.
Yeah, who watched all the footage,
and I was like,
it's in there.
Oh my god! Like it was so tight, but it was good because your foot would swell and your toes would swell, and eventually that lasted for like 60 miles before we replaced it at the end, before the last marathon at 73. So if it wasn't for that, And again, it's not like it doesn't cause blisters, because there was blisters in there, but they were just held together where nothing was going to happen. But yeah, if it wasn't for that, I don't even want to know.
How about your crew? So what was your favorite crew moment of all the of all the madness that we endured with you on this 100-mile race? What moment stuck out to you the most?
My favorite crew moment, when you guys were all running around and some of you were helping me tape my feet. Cody was putting Purell on my knife to pop all my blisters. And he was like, do you want me to do it or you to do it? I was like, I'm going to do it. He's like, yeah, you can do it. And just squeeze it out and wrap it up. Then Ed was like filling in the
water bottles,
the flasks with the electrolyte and all that stuff. And Ed was doing like his scientific thing. All right, sodium bicarbonate, and we need this. We need the aminos. So the left one has the aminos, Will, and the right one has the electrolyte. I was like, all right, I'm going to remember that. Cool. You know, Mike's like, what else you want in the pack? What else you want? You gum? All right, cool. Yeah, we're going to pack this. And you were doing that thing. Like, all right, guys, hold the towel. We're gonna change them out. All right, he needs to get dry, and and then you were putting Purell on my feet, which hurt like a bitch because the blisters were open. But you guys were just all like working like a pit crew.
It was
just,
literally
just
like a
running.
pit crew. Every pit stop was just like that.
Yeah, it was nice to just know and see like, all right, these guys are really, this is a team, you know, this is a unit. And I felt nice. I felt great. I was like, man, doing this shit by yourself would really suck. You know? So that was my favorite moment. Just you guys. And then every time I saw you guys after that, you guys were really in unison, if you will. Like you guys just really started working as a unit. And then every time I went back, like Cody's cracking jokes and Ed's laughing. Then Ed, only time I've ever heard him curse, swear to God.
Yep.
He dropped a motherfucker and he like high-fived me. He's like, that's the motherfucking shit right there. And I was like, Ed, I've never heard you curse. And he's like, that's the zone that we're in, man. Like, that's where we're at. You need it. And I was like, wow. Like, that moved me. I was like, oh my God, Ed said mother effer. I was like, holy crap.
That was at 52 miles.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I'm going. I was ready to run. I was ready to go. I was like, Ed said, motherfucker, I'm rolling.
Yeah.
You know, so that was cool.
Now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, now the team's in it, you know? Because I would imagine with you guys, you had to have felt like every time I came back, you're like, he's still going. Mm-hmm. Get him out there. Get our guy out there, you know?
Yeah.
So I would imagine, I saw the energy from you guys, you know? Like,
yeah.
going.
We were excited to see you every single time, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, you know, there were so many behind the scenes moments, but I can't imagine having a better crew. Like if you see the other runners out there too, some people you can only run without a crew if you've run a 100-mile race before.
Yeah.
But if anybody had a crew, it was one person, maybe two.
Yeah.
So to have a team of 4 following you around for 100 miles is like nobody else had that. That was not a real thing. No. And we were also, yeah, just the way that we jive. Like everybody has a role. Everybody has like a spirit to play inside of the team, and we crushed it. You couldn't have handpicked a better crew for yourself. You just couldn't have done it. Like we were the motliest crew out there, but it was it was badass. I was
proud. I was really proud. Like I thought to myself at some point in the race too, I was like, damn, dude, you picked a really good crew. You know, I was like, I was like Phil Jackson. I was like, man, I got the whole team going on here. You know?
Yeah.
I was proud of the choice for sure.
Good.
Everybody showed up. Everybody showed out. Everybody brought something different and a really good energy, and you know, a couple military guys, so that was great because I definitely needed that. So yeah, it's good focus.
Yeah, it was great. And even you have several different conversations like with each of us because there's just a lot of time in between and we're always doing something different. But even separately, Cody had brought it up to me about the dynamic of the crew, and so did Ed in 2 different conversations. And we I think all of us collectively were like, yeah, I couldn't have you couldn't have had a better group of people for sure.
Yeah, there was a
we
moment,
enjoyed each other.
For those of you guys that don't know, Cody Alford, who he is, look him up, right? He was my leadership coach for a while, and then we became really good friends after that. And this guy's background, he's an ex-special ops guy, Marine Corps, 15 years, right? Just awesome career, right? And done so many crazy, cool things. There was a moment where I was sitting in the chair, and I think it was like in the 50s or the 60s, I'm not sure. No, it was in the 50s because I didn't see you guys in the 60s. And he just looked at me, and I don't know if you remember this, but he goes, dude, I'm really freaking proud of you, bro.
Yeah.
It's like you're hammering through this, bro, and like your attitude is A1, bro. It's like I'm super proud of you. Like, way beyond my expectation.
For sure. I remember exactly what moment
Yeah.
that was, because that was at mile 73, and it was when you just got there. For context, you guys, at mile 73, Will literally ran up to the car and was like, whoa, yeah! And we're all like, yeah! Like, all of us are freaking out. This is the middle of the night.
Yeah.
It's literally probably, 3-something in the morning at this time?
Yeah, like 1 something. Yeah, something like that.
I don't know. It's the middle of the night, and there's other cars. Nobody's making us. People must think that we're crazy. And at every single stop that we were at, there was always excitement. There was always joy. There was always like a lot of conversation. But you would think it'd be us, the ones hyping him up. He came in at 73 miles and was flipping out. We're all flipping out. We're excited, and there was like this huge
I ran
talk.
and I toe tapped my shoes. I was like,
You toe tapped his shoe.
Boop,
Yeah.
down the road.
It's
to you guys.
pitch black. We're all like, people must just think that,
Again,
nuts.
guys.
But you really did have such a good attitude and such a positive outlook. And I don't know if that's just his personality, but also you're probably so excited to see us, like, holy shit.
Oh yeah, it was
because you're alone for so long.
It was a little bit of both, It was a little bit of both, and it's like a dog that hasn't seen his owner in a long time.
Literally, that's a fabulous way to describe it.
Yeah, I mean, it was. But again, man, it's you choose what type of energy you're gonna bring out there, and how bad that's gonna suck, and I do remember Cody saying something too. He's like, look, everything about the military sucked, and Mike was the same way, like in buds and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And I remember Cody distinctly saying, like, everything's gonna suck. The whole training sucks. Like, it all sucks. Deployments suck, whatever. You can complain about it, you can bitch about it, whatever, but you're gonna go through it anyway. So you might as well make the best out of it. And I think that's just like from entrepreneurship and all the sucking that has happened in my business career. I just brought that attitude of like, what's the worst that's going to happen? I mean, it's never. And there was a moment in the race where I thought to myself, I was like, it's never going to be as bad as running 100 miles. It's never going to be this bad. So you might as well, if you can do this in stride, I mean, you're invincible, outside of here. Nobody, and the word glory kept coming up in my mind. Like the glory, and that's all I kept telling myself. Like, just imagine the glory, thinking to myself on this chair, as I knew we were going to do the post-run podcast, with the medal around me, the finish line, the guy handing it to me, and me looking at all of you and my mom and this and that. Like, all those things were visualizations for me and little snippets of things I hung on to, in the hardest times. So that's why I didn't quit.
That's what made you keep going when you hit your wall in the 80s was, I guess, what was that? I'm sure that was part of it, but what?
It was definitely part of it. I think the biggest part for me, and it became very emotional as it is right now, like going back to, I've never had a male figure in my life that ever, and again, I love my brother. Like, my brother's been a great influence in my life, but I've never had a male figure at all in my family that showed me what extraordinary looks like. And I'm not talking about just showing up and doing enough or just a little bit better than average. I'm talking about extraordinary. Just going so above and beyond what anyone thought was possible. So for me, I wanted that for me. Like, I had to create that in me. So that's what really kept me going. And that's what didn't allow me to quit, because I would have been quitting on the child version of myself. that was always looking for that person, that male figure, to show me like, hey, this is what something incredibly difficult to accomplish looks like. And again and again and again and again. So, you know, and having gone through the business divorces and all that kind of stuff and all the shit that you know about, right? And sobriety too, right? Conquering that demon and all that stuff. All of that kind of like was in like a gumbo of all that stuff. And you, wherever it comes from, man, you grab wherever you can, you know, from wherever you can in those moments. So I would just grab those moments. And it's crazy because even people back to when I was a child that made fun of me and talked shit about me all the way up to adulthood, like all those things just like appeared as like little targets throughout the race, you know, of just like somebody's face, like laughing at me. And I would just, ping, you know, I would hit it and I would keep moving. So yeah, that was really the big factor of it. Yeah.
So when you got to the finish line, you're pacing with Cody at this point.
Yeah.
And the last 6 miles, Cody was with you?
Like 5, yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Give us the last mile. What was the last mile like? Because that's when we got the most text messages. It was like 1.7 miles away, 1 mile away, 0.9 miles away, 0.5 miles. Like that's when really, and we're all at the finish line waiting for you. Just so you guys know, Antonio and Joanna showed
awesome.
up. So shout out to them. Your mom and Mima drove all the way up. So shout out to them for being there. Terry came up, Ed's wife, your executive assistant, and all 4 of her kids showed up. Then, you know, me, Ed, Mike, Cody were there, of course. Yeah. You had a big posse. Again, no other runners had more than maybe 1, maybe 2 people at the finish line waiting for them. You had a crowd. You had a party. And then, of course, everybody in our crew is super charismatic and talkative. So we're all telling them about you. Like, this is how long he's been training. This is what he does. And this is how it's been. And so by the time Will had gotten to the finish line, everybody standing there, all the other families and friends and stuff, knew exactly who he was. So everybody lit up like a Christmas tree. It was like everybody was cheering, everybody was excited. It was really, really fun. So what was it like you before getting to the finish line, that last mile, before seeing us?
I mean, I cried with Cody. You know, there was a moment with Cody where I kind of like put my hand around his shoulder. We were a very light jog. Like, and I mean like a fucking 15 and a half minute pace. It was just more for like the formality of like, all right, because I was getting ready to like, all right, when I come around the bend, and he had already prepped me for that. Like, hey, when we get to this parking lot, because he had already been to the finish line, when we get to this parking lot, I'm going to branch off. This is your moment, but I want you to do me a favor. I need you to not leave anything in the tank, and I need you to sprint through the finish line. Like, don't be like this. Give it all you got.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right.
You didn't. Yeah, you ran.
Oh, I was like, Roger that. I got it. I'm going to do that. And, but yeah, I put my arm around him and I was like, yo, man, I just want to tell you that it's been an absolute honor to, you know, run with you here and have you here and, you know, work together in the capacity that we've worked before. Because I respect the shit out of the dude, obviously. And, you know, to see him respect me in the same way, that was a big moment for me. So, you know, I just told him, I was like, dude, I don't even know what to say, bro, but I can't believe this shit's right here. And he's like, bro, you know what? I love you, buddy. I will hold your hand the whole way there if you want to, bro. I don't care. You wanted the mountain. You got the mountain. This one is yours.
Yeah.
And then, you know, when we came up around the bend, he just kind of broke off, and he's like, and he just looked at me and he's like, it's all you, bro. And he just turned to the right, and I just came around the bend and I fucking started hauling ass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that was that.
Yeah.
So just seeing the finish words, the white letters on the blue thing, the inflatable, truth be told, like, I don't know when I'll have another moment like that, but that was an unbelievable, surreal feeling to think like, oh my God, I'm finally gonna be done with this shit.
Yeah.
You know, because I had hit, you know, for context for the viewers, because of all the transitions and all the places I met you guys at, I had already hit 100-miler with Cody, 1.5 miles away. Yeah. So my watch went beep, beep, and it said 100. So at that point, I felt, I hadn't crossed the finish line, but I was like, I've officially ran 100 fucking miles.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, but at the same token, I'm like, how far are we? And he's like, 1.2 miles. And I said, okay, I can hold it for 1.2 miles. And that was just extra, you know?
Yeah.
So that was an incredible. And then and then he goes, do you see the lighthouse? And I started seeing the lighthouse like a 0.6 miles away.
That's where we were.
And I said, yeah. And he goes, that's the finish line. And he goes, just keep your eye on the lighthouse. And that's all I did, was just look up at the lighthouse as little as I could, because my head was kind of bowing down. But yeah, and then adrenaline started kicking in, you know, because I was going to see all you guys, and, you know, I wanted to see you, and I wanted you to be like, holy shit, he fucking did it. You know, my mom, of course, my grandma. You know, my grandma's 84 now, so I wanted her to be able to, you know, have that moment too. So that was cool.
Oh my God, you're gonna make me cry. I can't.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
Yeah,
It was
dope. It was epic.
Wow, I think this is like the first time that I can't get my shit together on my own show.
It's all good. Ran 100 miles for it. It's worth it.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Yeah.
It was super cool to see.
Yeah.
It was, yeah, I don't even know how to, I don't even know a word to say, but it was amazing. What you did was amazing. I'm super proud of you.
Thank you.
I know that you know that, but yeah, it was really fucking cool. And you should be proud of yourself. All of us are so proud of you.
I am
So,
very proud of myself.
What
First
was it like running through the finish line? I mean, I remember what it was like for me because I was the first one standing there. So
I mean, you saw my energy.
He was so excited.
I was waiting for it. I just fucking, I was going for it. And that's how I wanted that picture to be. Like the camera guy, because I saw him. And I just wanted like a fucking big shout to be the, you know, I think I said, fuck yeah. Like, and I noticed there was kids around, but I didn't give a shit.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just fucking charged right through it. And then I put my hands up. That was an amazing feeling, you know? And then to see, like, when I saw out of the corner of my eye, Bob, the small dude that's the race director, when I saw him kind of walking with this and the belt buckle.
Yeah.
You know, that I broke down there because I was like, oh my God, this is the fucking moment.
Yeah.
Like, this is where you get the belt buckle, you know, like the famous belt buckle.
Yeah.
So that was cool in that regard. And I remember what he said. He shook my hand. He said, is this your first one? And I said, yes, sir. And we have it on video. And he was like, was it as hard as you thought? And I was like, it fucking sucked. It was so hard. And he goes, well, here you go. You earned it. Congratulations. And he's like, not many finish on the first try. I was like, well, thank you so much, you know. And I was like, can I take a picture with you, Bob? And I told him, I was like, I'm sorry about the smell. He's like, it's okay. You know, so that was cool. And then I hugged you. Yeah, that was epic.
Yeah.
It was a very big, the right word for it is release. It was a very big release crossing through that finish line.
You let something go.
For sure. You let a lot of stuff go, you know? Not to say that I'm better than anybody or anything like that. That's not the place that I'm coming from. It's just mentally now, I don't feel like I have anything to prove to anybody, you know, from the physical perspective or the mental perspective. You know, I've always, you know me for a long time. I've always prided myself on mindset, my mindset, the fortitude I have, the shit that I've been able to get through. This one just attaches a medal to it, you know? I never got a trophy for it. So for this one, it was just more so, okay, there's not really shit you could tell me no.
Yeah.
Nothing's ever sucked that bad.
No.
You know, and so few people, you know, it's like 1/1000th of 1% of people will ever or have ever finished an ultra marathon. So I feel very honored by that. A very small group of people.
Yes. The 1% of the 1% of the 1%.
Yeah.
You are a part of that.
Yeah,
crew
and it was
now.
cool to get a text from Brady. Shout out to Brady. Definitely an inspiration in that regard. It was cool to get a text from him and Cole Taylor. You know, some of my buddies that I've ran them and finished them. So, you know, I honestly, man, I was very grateful that I stayed healthy, and I didn't get an injury during the race because that would have really sucked. And you know, I was just humbled that that's how it was in the cards for me, and I was able to go through it without injury, because a lot of people are very willing and capable of it, but shit happens. You know, you blow an Achilles at 50 miles. I mean, there's not much you could do.
Yeah,
you know?
you're SOL at that point. They'd probably pull you off the track at that point.
I mean, you were gonna need a forklift for me. I don't care. I don't care. I would have eaten it. I really.
Oh,
could
I
care
know you
less.
would have.
But I would have flapped the whole way home. But yeah, again, I think that, you know, it was just cool to do it. It was cool to do it and actually get there. And, you know, one thing is to train for it, because that already sucked so bad. Then the 52 miler, that really fucking sucked. Then dealing with my hip issue. And shout out to Ed. You're a legend. I went from having a bum ass hip flexor to working with you for 4 weeks to not having an ounce of hip pain the entire 100 miler. It was the only thing that held together and did not hurt. So thank you for that. You're a genius. You're a savant of physical training. You really are. And I mean it, man. I don't know that I would have been able to do that race if he didn't get my hip the way that he got it together 4 weeks before, which was really close. So it made me very nervous, because I couldn't keep par with my training.
I think you were in your head about it a lot. You wouldn't say that out loud, but from someone who knows you very well, I think that was definitely sitting in the back of your mind pre-race.
Or, you know, you've been running 50, 60 miles a week. You had been, everything's going well, you know, and you're very healthy, and your cardiovascular is like it's never been before. And you just finished the 52 miler. I'm like, man, like I'm ready, you know, I'm like in fighting weight. I feel great. I'm super loose. And then, you know, and then I couldn't train. I went from running 50 to 60 miles a week to running 10 for the last 4 weeks. 20 was my biggest one. So, you know, at that stage, I'm like, damn, I really hope I don't lose the cardio and the soft tissue, you know, of it.
For sure. Are you going to run another? Please, for the love of God, tell us no.
I don't know, to be honest. I would like to do an Ironman for sure. An Ironman is something I would like to do. The running, the swimming, and the biking. I feel like I could go do an Ironman, you know, no problem. Yeah. It would be hard, but I could do an Ironman, no problem. After this scenario.
I think so too.
Yeah, and it would be, it's great because it's not just running, which I think running would be the hardest part of all of it, apart from swimming, because you do swim like I think it's 1.5 miles or something. It's just cool to go into 3 different disciplines and like hop out of the wetsuit and boom, get on a bike for 80 miles and then boom, run a marathon or whatever the order is. I'm not sure though. Right now, I'm just enjoying the moment, and you know, I'm excited to get back into even though I went to the gym today, but like to train upper body more and to not have to every single week, like, fuck, I got to run 5 miles today. I got to run 10 miles today. Oh my God, this weekend, got to run 25 miles. You know, it's got to run 30 miles, whatever it is.
Even the supplementing of all of it, like what you have to eat and all that stuff. Like you don't have to worry about that stuff now.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to, you know, to just have fun. And train because you want to train. Yeah. Not train because you have to train. You know? Yeah. But Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is on the horizon.
So. That's what Terry was talking about. She's like, please. She was telling your mom. She's like, please don't let him fight. Please don't let him fight. No, I just don't. Please. Well,
that's not fighting. That's grappling. We'll
whatever
see what
you
I can
want to do.
There, you know?
Yeah. He's in it. He's on it. You look at his face. You can't keep this man down.
No.
Is there one promise you're keeping to yourself after the 100 miles?
One promise I'm keeping to myself after the 100 miles.
Maybe a lesson that you learned along the way that you want to keep applying to your life, your relationships, your business, anything like that.
That's a phenomenal question. I think there was a lot of lessons. It's really difficult to distill it down to one. And every day, like more of them kind of come to mind. Honestly, nothing is promised to anybody. And no matter what social status or financial status or anything, if you got it, you know, if you got them, smoke them. You know what I'm saying? So I'm 34. I have the body. I have the mental fortitude, you know, have the physical capability. Go out there and do some really hard shit you'll thank yourself later for doing stuff like that, you know? So if anything, I would just say, enjoy while you got it, man. Enjoy while you got it, you know? There's a lot of people that I'm very grateful to be able to go run 100 miles as much as it sucked. There's people that would kill to even walk again. So, you know, that's a lot of perspective to think about.
Yeah.
So if you got it and you're capable of it, why wouldn't you?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm humbled by how much this seemed to have inspired so many people. You know, my Instagram is blowing up and people texting me all the time, and people staying awake till 3, 4 in the morning, watching me run and tracking me. So I appreciate everybody. I really do.
Yeah, it was insane. So many people that I wouldn't even think of were texting me, calling me.
Yeah.
How's he doing? Where's Will out? How many miles? Like everybody was in it.
Yeah.
It was not even just Instagram. Anybody who was following along that had my personal contact information was reaching out, and they're like, "Hey, how's he doing? What's going on?" Like, it was just a lot of care, a lot of give a damn was around you, and like everybody wanted to see you win, and you did. You ripped it. You ran 100 miles. You did exactly what you set out to do. So you didn't let anybody down.
No. And I'm going to tell you something else, and I'll say this right now on camera for the first time. I'm the only real estate educator in this entire world that has one of these. All right. So I don't want to hear shit about your real estate guru or whatever, and about his mindset and whatever. Shh. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Shh. And you can take that however you want, but I'm just letting you know, if you want mentality, if you want mindset, and you want push yourself further in business, holler at me.
Holla at your boy.
Holla at your boy.
Holla at your boy.
I was proud of that. I realized that after the fact. I was like, wow, none of my contemporaries have ever pushed themselves this far.
You're a one of one.
That's what I want to be. That's what I want to be. And they can't take that title from me, baby. If any one of them want it, they could go run 100 miles.
Nope. Well, any last words before we jump off the episode? For your listeners, for your people, anything you want to say? Besides, you're such a badass for running 100 miles.
Yeah, learn how to put your feelings aside. Learn how to put your feelings aside. And just because something's a lot harder than what you thought it was, don't ever quit on yourself. You know, you can quit tomorrow, but just don't quit today.
And just keep telling yourself that, I can quit tomorrow, I can quit tomorrow, I can quit tomorrow. It's kind of like the thing where everybody's like, I'll start tomorrow, I'll start tomorrow, I'll start tomorrow. No, don't start tomorrow, start right now. Start today.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, listen, it took me a lot of life to get to being able to run the 100 miles or whatever. You know, I hope to be an example for people to see and say, wow, 3 years ago, this guy was a party animal, drinking out of control, completely out of control in a lot of ways, to being where he's at now and running a 100-mile race and being sober. I take a lot of pride in that. You can change your entire life at the drop of a dime. The key is you can.
You can.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So if you're feeling stuck or if you're feeling incapable, just do something hard. Do hard shit.
Yeah.
Do hard things. Challenge yourself.
You're going to do it anyway, man, because life's going to give it to you.
One way or another.
One way or another. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody tells life, like, no, yeah, try doing that. Watch what happens. So one way or another, the hard is going to come.
Yeah.
And I'd rather be the guy that's like, well, I've been really conditioned in hard, so this seems like normal to me.
Choose the suffrage.
Yeah, involuntary suffering makes voluntary suffering, or voluntary suffering makes involuntary suffering so much easier. Mm-hmm. And I feel like when people hear that term, they're like, oh, suffering. Like, dude, people suffer all the time, man. Like, we suffer as human beings. You're going to suffer for so many different reasons.
Yeah. It's like choose your hard. That's like people say things are hard all the time, and instantly my mind goes to choose your hard, because you can choose your hard. So, and that's all the way you talk to yourself. That's a whole mental head game that you play with you. If you're going to tell yourself that something's hard, it's going to be hard because you're telling yourself it's hard. So how you speak to yourself and how you speak about the things that you have to do, if you tell yourself it's going to be hard, it's going to be hard. If you're like, it's going to be a cakewalk, it's going to make it that much easier to go through. Whether it's hard or not, you really have to communicate with yourself and change the way you look at things, your perception, your optimism, your positivity level, all of those things.
Yeah, what I proved to myself was you can have anything you want if you want it bad enough.
Absolutely.
So that's really all I can say, and that's universal for, it doesn't have to be a 100-miler. That's universal for life in general. Like, if you want anything bad enough, somebody else has done it. I promise you that. The world's filled with people that have done incredible shit. So why not you?
And if you can think it, it can be your reality.
100%.
Because God and the universe wouldn't allow you to have that dream or have that thought or think that thing if it wasn't yours. It was given to you. And it's not for anyone else. It's for you. So you're going to get there one way or the other, but it belongs to you, and you have to know that. And you have to believe that every single day. Tell it to your reality.
Yeah, I said it from the beginning. I was like, look, I know I've already ran the 100 miles. I just got to get the paperwork out of the way.
That's right. Yeah.
But that's it.
And he's got it. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We have an ultra marathon runner, 100-mile finisher champion in the house, in the den.
You.
If you guys don't know where to find him, I will tell you now. You can follow him on Instagram at Willie Numbers. You can follow all of the behind-the-scenes footage. We've got a lot of it. So if you go to his page, you can catch up if you're not listening or watching this episode in real time. All the footage is on his social media. I think that we've covered everything. But if you guys have any questions, if you want to work with Will, if you want to get into real estate, or if you have questions, comments, concerns, anything that you want to know about reverse flipping, again, you can go visit him at Willie Numbers on social media. He's the same across all platforms. You can also go to his website, www.reverseflip.com, and learn about what reverse flipping is, the strategy that he created, and how he's making all of his millions today. Until then, I will see you guys next Friday. You know what to do. Stay feral. You guys can follow me at Savana_Montana. You can follow the show at Feral the Podcast. We're the same across all platforms. Send us your messages, DM, comment below. Let us know what you thought about Will's race. Let us know what you thought about this episode. If you guys have any crazy, wild, feral stories of your own, be sure to email me at feral@savannahmontana.com. Those stories might just pop up on the show, so feel free to share them. You guys do remain anonymous, so I won't rat you out unless you want to be shouted out. Whole different story. But we will see you soon. In the meantime, stay feral and have a Feral Friday. Okay, love you. Bye.
Thank you, guys.
Let me tell you who the fuck I think I am. You got a minute? Wow.